Have you heard comments about your writing career and your interest in writing that are either super cliche, super annoying, or super ridiculous? Well, today we're going to go through a few of those that you are probably familiar with. Welcome to The Right Mama with Jennifer Aline, a creative space where we talk about the writing process, the publishing industry, and motherhood chaos. Today we are talking about the comments and phrases and questions that writers get often. And the reason I'm doing this video is because growing up, I experienced a lot of emotional confusion when it came to my love for writing. A lot of people didn't understand it. I got a lot of these cliche comments coming at me. And if maybe I didn't hear some of these, I definitely thought people were thinking these things. This video is me expressing some of those things that I've heard or experienced, and also making you not feel like you're alone when you hear or think or experience these phrases too. Number one, we're going to start off with a popular one. The quote, "You do need a real job though, right?" Yes. Starting off, writing or being a novelist is not a full-time job that is going to pay all your bills and leave you a little fun money on the side. Of course, there are those rare times when those creative minds get tons of money thrown at them and they're living the life. However, those are rare, very rare occasions. Most writers know that they need a side job and that writing is going to be a side job until they finally get to a comfortable place where they can make it their full-time job. Number two is something along the lines of the expectation that every writer is perfect when it comes to grammar and spelling and everything in the English language. The quote, "Then why do you need spell check?" Well, not all writers and storytellers have perfect grammar, believe it or not. Even though most writers do have a pretty good sense of spelling etiquette and grammar and the flow that a story takes on, it doesn't mean they're perfect. I am not the best speller. I also am not great when it comes to grammar. Also, after my content edits I recently did, I realized that when it comes to paragraphs after dialogue and things like that, I need a lot of work. So it's not good to always just expect writers to be perfect when it comes to the English language. We're not. The reason writers got into this in the first place is because they had a story to tell and they just had to tell it. So that's why they're here, and that's why there's other professionals in the field that are there to help us out, teach us things, and move forward. So don't always expect every writer to be perfect when it comes to spelling and grammar, and thank goodness for Grammarly and thank goodness for spell check. Number three, this is a fun one. "She's a writer. She's going to be the next JK Rowling." Or, "He's a great writer. He's going to be Stephen King." Okay, maybe some of us come into the field really, really looking up to JK Rowling or Stephen King. However, you can't just become a bestseller and some famous writer overnight. First off, you don't want to be famous. You want to be respected. My brother told me that when he was younger, when I was younger, and I will always listen to that. And also, it's very rare to be an overnight success like JK Rowling or Stephen King, and they also worked for it. That's a lot of what the world doesn't see is they worked for their success. It took time to get there. And also, we don't want to be exactly like anybody else. No, who does? That makes us boring and we're all unique people. You want to be the writer that you are. So a lot of people just expect writers to automatically think, oh, they're going to be this famous so-and-so. And it's not like that. Most of the writers that I know and myself, we know it's going to take a long time to get to a point of success where we can say we're comfortable. And it's not an overnight business for 90% of us, probably 95% of us. It takes a lot of time. Number four is one that I actually think a lot of people that I know think, and some kind of say out loud in a way. So this one is, Haven't you been trying to do this forever though? And maybe I don't hear this exactly from other people, but I can sense it. And I think a lot of other writers in the industry and in the field have experienced a similar thought or a similar vibe come off of somebody. Something just fell. It takes a very long time to be successful or be comfortable in the writing world. And a lot of writers are really hard on themselves. They start stories, they stop stories, they give up, they start back up. They give up, they go pitch their story, nobody picks it up. They start all over, they give up. It continues to go. And some people don't understand the industry. So it takes a long time to really understand your writing and your goals and what you want out of your creative thoughts. It takes a while. So we understand that it's not going to take a year to find, the perfect agent. If this is your first book, you probably won't get an agent or an editor or even get published if it's your first book that you've written. It takes writing numerous books, starting and stopping, learning from conferences and workshops, and pitching your book and talking to other people. It takes a while, and we understand that. So when we get that, haven't you been trying this forever vibe or statement, it's hard because we have been, but we're not going to give up if it's something we really love. Number 5 is one that I may not have personally really experienced too much, but I know other people have. It's, if I wasn't so busy, I could totally write a book. And sometimes when we hear that, it makes it seem like what we're doing is just a joke to them. And I know it may be that writers may be too emotional and too offended when it comes to certain comments. But when you hear this kind of thing or feel as if someone's giving off that kind of a vibe in your direction towards your passion, it's hard. And maybe that person really does want to write a book someday, but they do think they're too busy. The reason that we have decided to pursue this is because we made time for it, because we love it that much. I'm a mom of twin girls, and I have about 3 part-time remote jobs, 4 part-time remote jobs, and somehow I still find time to write. If it's something you truly love, you'll do it. And that's one thing that I think anybody who has a passion makes sure they follow through with, is if you love something, you figure it out, you make it happen. And like I said, everything I'm saying is subjective. And maybe some of these people are really too busy to focus on something like that. But again, if you love it, you will sooner or later find time for it. Number 6 is the famous hobby line. This line changes. You hear it from a lot of people in a lot of different ways. This misconception is popular among writers and creative minds out there. It's the, oh, this is your hobby, or what a great hobby. What if the person really wants to do this as a career? This person may fully understand that it's going to take a long time, but what if that is their goal? I always say that I knew I wanted to be a full-time author ever since I was a little girl, and I'm going to still do that. However, it has been a hobby growing up, but it's been a very serious hobby. It's been one that I have passionately followed for my entire life, and someday I do want to make it a full-time job. Some people find this misconception a little hurtful. However, I don't see it that way. It takes a lot to really offend me. But some people do see it as hurtful if really this isn't a hobby to them. It is their career. And some people do see writing or art or this and that as hobbies, when really for some people that is their job, their career. They're putting their energy, their heart, their love, their money into this thing. So somebody seeing it as just a hobby, that can be really tough on people. For me, and last, number 7. Number 7 brings forth the topic of money. And this question, I was involved in this question recently when I was talking to somebody about how much money, whether it's a self-published author or traditionally published author, it doesn't matter, how much a new debut author makes within a year. I told them that from the research and from videos and things I'd read, that a debut author makes about $6,000 on their book, just their book, in the first year. $6,000 just on the book. And when I told this to the person that I was talking to, this is what they said. Why the heck would you choose this as your career if you're not? We chose this career because of the P word, passion. We went into this, or whoever goes into the writing field, because they love it and they believe in it and they believe in themselves and their stories and the characters they create. We're doing it not for the money. If we were doing it for the money, I don't know. I guess maybe you'd have other jobs that could support you because, like I said before, writing doesn't often support you right away. It takes quite a while to get there, and most writers understand that. So it made me laugh when he said that because this person said that because we go into it for different reasons. Everybody goes into the writing field for different reasons. And yeah, if you're a debut writer with only one book out, $6,000 on a book alone is a great amount of money to just make on that book in 1 year. There are other ways to make money when it comes to being an author. There's speaking engagements, there's going to events, there's collaborating, things like that. But on the book alone, you don't get enough money to support you every month. So yes, I laughed when I heard this statement. But then again, I realized, really look at the big picture. We're here writing because we love it. It's our passion. And we're not going to stop if it's something we really want to pursue. Money. Thank you for listening to these 7 misconceptions when it comes to being a writer. We all experience the opinions of others when it comes to us and our passion for writing. And it can be kind of hard sometimes. It can be funny to hear these comments, but sometimes it can be hard if you take them to heart. You don't want to take these things to heart. You want to move forward, learn from them, and keep following your dream, your goals. It's not a dream, it's a goal, because you're going to get there. So if you liked this video, comment below and let me know what funny comments you've heard, what other things people have said. And if you want more content like this, let me know. Subscribe below, ding ding ding, ring the bell, and you'll get notified on when my videos go live every Friday. So thank you very much. Stay creative and drink that coffee.